In this video, I'm going to show you a working example, a simple one, of basically an AI agent orchestration. In short, we're going to have a manager agent that then delegates the actual execution of the user's input to worker agents. Okay, so firstly, just to kind of share some of the higher level architecture, this was really the inspiration for this. Usually when you're kind of building out something that's a little bit more complex, instead of just kind of diving right into N8N, you really want to start somewhere where you can just kind of, drag and drop little squares like this just to kind of show what happens, right? So in the original plan for this, I basically had it to where you can input through a request chat that I have in N8N. I would also want to be able to accept input from a form or by voice. That's really an upgrade that I plan on doing, and I'll definitely make sure I put that in a future video. And we want to standardize really the inputs for the AI. From there, it goes to our manager agent. We'll then select the model, and then underneath the tools tab, we're gonna have different agents. So in the case of this workflow that I'm building here, I'm basically building a workflow where it can create a post based on Threads or Twitter, which is a lot more casual. Or if the user wants, it can create a LinkedIn post where it's a lot more professional. And then an image generation workflow that basically can generate an image post to go along with whatever the user's writing. All right. And then from there, the write workflow will receive the instruction, it'll process and create the actual asset, and then send it over to Discord. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and just run a quick example, and then we'll break down step by step how this is working. All right, so I'm gonna come here to open chat, and I'm going to say, write me a X. So let's go ahead and send it. All right, so we're sending it, it's working through the model right now, and as you see, it only went to the threads writer. Right, so it's working on there. And if we pop back over to Discord, bam, we see here the output. Now keep in mind, the input that I put for the worker agents was very rudimentary. So obviously this is not the best post. We can definitely upgrade it, but this is really just a proof of concept. All right, so now let's go ahead and ask for a LinkedIn post. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up, and let's say, and actually this time, I'm actually gonna include it, this time let's actually include an image. So we'll say, realistic cartoon. All right, so we're sending it. It's going to our model right now. And as you see, it skipped over the threads writer. It shows the LinkedIn writer, and then we're just waiting on the design. All right, perfect. So our designs are finished. Let's see. All right, so product managers, picture this. All right, so I created the LinkedIn post style. And by the way, the AI tool I'm using for the image is from OpenAI. All right, so let's go ahead and just break down exactly how this is working. All right, so first of all, I'm just using a standard chat node that comes here in N8N. For my AI agent, I included these set of instructions, which by the way, in order to get this, where it says source for prompt, you wanna come here and select define below. All right, once you do that, you're able to actually provide your own prompt, and this is the prompt that I provided. What I found to work the best is whenever you have tools for your agent to decide, you really want to make it clear what tools that they have and what the tool does. And I'm actually going to explain why when we actually open up each one of those separate tools that it has. So I'm basically saying you're a content director, your job is to receive a message from the user and determine which tool, really agent, is best suited to complete the task. I go ahead and give it the different tools that it has and what they do. And I'm clear on saying, do not complete this task yourself, only choose a tool that passes you this topic to. So one thing I did different with the X/Threads writer agent and the LinkedIn agent, I basically only included a topic. With the image generation workflow, I basically said that it needs a creative direction. So, and I'm basically saying the creative direction is left blank, just input the user topic again. So obviously we can definitely do more here to just make it a little bit more better, especially for the creative direction. Maybe we can be a bit more proactive, but again, this is a proof of concept. Then of course I drag in here the input from the chat. All right. So as far as the model goes, I am using a more expensive model. I probably don't need to use 4.0. I could probably get away with a 4.0 mini or 3.5. Now, this is where it's important. So the tool that I'm using is, if you come here and click on tools, it'll say call N8N workflow tool. All right, so these are different workflows that I have set up in N8N. Okay, so by the way, this here is my LinkedIn writer tool. This here is the threads. And then this here is the image generation workflow. All right, so my manager agent has access to all three. So starting with the X/Threads workflow, very simple. I basically said if a user requests a post to be written on the X, Twitter, or Threads platform, use this tool. The source I'm using database because I'm specifying the tool inside of N8N. And it's funny enough, I actually like to name each tool with the start of what the tool is going to be about. So I named this one Tom for threads. And as you see here for topic, I'm letting the AI basically define the topic here. And I'm just providing some context to insert the user's requested topic. All right, so I'm doing that for that. I'm doing this also for the LinkedIn. I'm doing this also for the LinkedIn Writer tool. And then when it comes to the Creative Designer tool, it's the same exact thing, except for the Creative Designer tool, just like I said, it's going to look for a topic and a creative direction. So I'm letting the agent define that, and I'm just kind of giving it context here in the description. All right. So what happens after that? Well, pretty simple. So I'm basically using this node here when executed by another workflow. And when you open this up, I'm using a JSON example. I'm calling here, I'm looking for a JSON object of topic. And by the way, when you put that here in the example, it will then populate. So back my manager agent, it actually populated this word topic for me. All right, so from there, it's basically taking the inputs, passing it forward here. And again, just a very simple prompt. This can definitely be upgraded to write a much better piece of content for X or threads, but I just wanted, again, get this in here for proof of concept. So I just included basically what's being sent forward in the manager workflow. So the manager workflow is passing forward the topic. I'm using an AI agent. I'm using a 4 model here, GPT-4 model, and I'm just passing it to Discord. Same exact thing for the Twitter X, except for the prompt is just a little bit different, so the tone is a bit more casual. Here, same thing, except for I'm hitting the OpenAI image API through an HTTP request. I'm converting it here to an image because what happens is that when you hit this API from OpenAI, it doesn't pass the image straight back. It passes a base 64 string that then has to be converted and then it's sent over to Discord, where it finally ends up here in Discord. I definitely want to upgrade these more in the future where the content that they produce is just a lot better. But just for a quick proof of concept, just to show that how this works, I think this is pretty cool. All right, so as always, if you want the template for this, I will definitely include it. Now, one thing to note is that you do not want to put all these in the same workflow. They do have to be in different workflows. So your manager agent is going to be in one workflow, and then all the worker agents will then be in their own subsequent workflows as well. So anyway, yeah, thanks for checking out the video.